Hi, my name is Lindsey. I'm the Process and Procurement Specialist for Materio. In the next series of videos, I'm going to have you follow along with me as I work to build a project from concept to closeout. Keep in mind that your processes may vary from what I'm showing here, and that's fine. I think that the actions that I touch on will still be helpful to you as you build and execute your own projects in Materio. So let's get into it. Hi. In this first video, I'm just going to show you how I start a project. We have another video called Getting Set Up for Success, which walks you through the steps for making sure that you get set up right. So I'm not going to go through those details now, but I do just want to show you what I've done already. So if you just go to your hamburger menu here, this is your global menu. You can see that in my contacts, I already have my team set up with all of their proper permissions. So I'm already aware of what they can do and what they can't do, what they can see and what they can't see. With my team members already set up, I then just want to make sure that I have my clients already set up in the system. Anybody that I'm going to be working with, regardless of whether they're going to be activated and working in the platform with me or not, having them in here allows me to share information outside of the system with them. So this is an important step. I've got my client already set up in here, and I have my external collaborators. Most of mine are vendors. I have an outside general contractor, a service provider, and a subcontractor. And I have all the information I'm going to need to do all the steps down the line. So that means I have everything from my vendor rep to their address to their phone number. If I need to call out specifically what it is we can rely on this vendor for or this contractor for, I say that here. So all my external collaborators are already set up. Then the other thing that I have is in my library, and I want to show you that too. I have two primary uses for my design library. The first is as a sample library. I have actually transitioned entirely away from a physical sample library to a digital sample library. It's not that I don't use physical samples, but I just found it to be time consuming and expensive to maintain one. So all my samples are documented here. I use the other category for all my pre-project sort of needs. Samples for wood, fabric, tile, wall coverings, and so on. All my samples are documented here in my design library. In addition to that, I also have inspiration images documented here. And inspiration images could be anything, whether it be a piece of furniture or an image of a room or maybe a hotel, maybe it's just vibes, whatever. Those sort of early inspiration visuals that I might want to use as a starting point for a project, I go ahead and I drop those in here as well. That just makes it so easy for me to pull and build on when I start a project. So, and if I just want to hone in on just those vibey images, I actually have Pinterest set up as a vendor in my system. So I'll just go to the filter and I'll select vendor, and then I'll choose Pinterest as my vendor, click apply, and then it just shows me all those images that I have pulled that help me with the very early initial stages of visual representation of what I might want to do on a project. The other use case that I have for my design library is as basically my own web shop. So I have a handful of preferred vendors that I can rely on, that I have an established relationship with, that I've worked to build, and I have pulled from those vendors things that I like, basically pre-approved items. I want to easily be able to go to a category and pull exactly what I need, and I want to do that quickly. I have dining chairs, counter stools, bar stools, chaises, king beds, queen beds, sleeper sofas, sofa and sectionals, basically just like a web shop so that I can easily navigate it and quickly pull from it. Accessories is a good example of reason to use subcategories because that's just a really big bucket. If the bucket is too large, I'm not going to be able to get in and get out with what I need fast enough, and so therefore I may not use it. So establishing these subcategories early on really helps this be a great organizational tool for me. And not that I am restricting myself to only using a handful of preferred vendors, certainly not. As I move deeper into a project, I very well may push on other resources and look for things that are more unique and more specific to my client's needs. But in the early stages of design, having this to use as starting points and building blocks really helps me move really quickly. However you use your design library, I just encourage you to decide how you want to use it and set up the structure and the organization for that early on so that you can work resistance-free when you move into setting up your projects. All right, so let me just close out of this, and then we're just going to talk about company settings just briefly before we finish this out. Okay, so I see company settings in my main menu here. And as you can see, I've already uploaded my logo. I've just entered in basic things about my company, including the main contact email, your company address. This is important. It's going to show up on documentation when you send information outside of the system, like say a purchase order. It doesn't take long at all. Just make sure that you don't skip this step. Now we're back at the dashboard and we can start with our very first step, which is documenting a lead. And we'll get right into that in the next video.